Hello, everyone. I am Faith Godbold from A Touch of Faith. Thank you for watching the replay. Come on in. It is Saturday, and I'm super excited to be here today as we create a beautiful magnolia flower wreath. So, as you're coming in, make sure you say something so I know you're here watching us, whether you're watching us live or on replay. I'd love to see your city and state. So if you don't mind, go ahead and drop that information down in the comments. I look forward to seeing how far our broadcast is reaching. And if this is your first time joining us, make sure you comment the word new so I can go back and welcome you to become a part of our exciting family and our community here. So how is everyone doing? I see my mom is here. Hello, hello. Donzell is here. Hey, Donzell. And there's Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Let me make sure. Teresa, are you from McCall, South Carolina? I'm trying to make sure I'm remembering who I was talking to earlier. If so, I'm so excited to have you. And Mom, I knew you were already here, so I already spoke to my mom. So how are y'all doing today? I'm excited to be here. Let me take a minute and go ahead and get this video sprinkled out. And if you did not know, sprinkle is our code word for share. I'd love for you to do that. Go ahead and give this video a like, give it some love. And if you have someone you could share this with, someone who would love to see a beautiful spring flower wreath, go ahead and send this video on over to them. I would love to have as many people join us tonight as we can get on our page. So I hope you all are having an amazing day today. How are y'all doing? All right, there we go. Okay, see, Teresa, I'm trying to remember. There's so many new names. So let's welcome Teresa, everyone. She's one of our new subscribers over on YouTube. And Mom, she lives in McCall, South Carolina. Can you believe it? That is close to where we're from, which is Cheval. And I was so excited to see her. Earlier, she was watching one of our lives. And I think, Teresa, you're going to enjoy today's tutorial, if I remember correctly. Right before the live, y'all, I was thinking about sunflowers. We've been doing a lot of videos lately. We made a sunflower bow. I'm backtracking. We did a sunflower wallflower. You remember that? The little daisy wallflower. So we were going to make a sunflower daisy wreath, but I decided at the last minute to switch it out, and we're going to make a magnolia wreath. And if you haven't seen that before, I have a video on YouTube. I'm going to link you to that so that if you want to check that video out, you can. And Teresa, tell me if I remember correctly, I believe you may have been looking at that video. I've been responding to so many comments. Sometimes they start to run together. So let's see. We first made one last year sometime, and we did it in a beautiful white color. So I'm going to grab that link in case anyone wants to see that. I would say that's one of the videos that just started propelling people to my channel. So if you want to check out that video, there's the link right there. I'd love to have you view it. I also have one in the background. See the beautiful purple? So we're going to design something like this tonight, but we're going to make that in yellow because this one just sold, y'all. So this is going to Cheval. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you the mesh we're going to use first. We're using some beautiful, that same yellow sunflower color. I keep calling it like a yellow sunflower because there are different shades of yellow. Let me grab a piece. I left one so we could make one more of these together. So I love this. It's poly burlap, so it's very durable for flower wreaths. It holds up nicely if you're hanging it outside, although I still recommend if you can have an awning over your door because that will protect your wreaths even longer. And of course, if you hang it inside, it's going to probably look the way you purchased it forever and ever, as long as you take good care of it on the inside. Yes, that's what I thought, Teresa. I don't know how I remembered that. All right, so we're going to make a yellow magnolia petal. And let me know in the comments if you make wreaths or do you buy wreaths? Which one are you? Are you a wreath maker or are you a wreath buyer? And even if you've never bought a wreath before, let me know which way you would label yourself, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this on my table with the curved side place facing upward. And I do have extensive videos on how to make all of the petals, both on YouTube. And if you want to see an entire wreath made, you can head over to learnfromfaith.com and check out my creative circle. That's my membership group where I teach all things that you see in my studio here. Okay. All right. So all I'm going to do, y'all, I'm just going to take my top tip, bring it down, and just crease it like a triangle. And it's amazing how you can take these pieces and make them do what you want them to do. This is a 10-inch square that I'm now folding into a triangle. I'm going to rotate it. And then all I'm going to do is just pinch on this long edge here. And as I pinch, I'm going to gather it up together. And if you notice, whoops, it's starting to look, let me slow down there. It's starting to look like a little petal. And you'll see it even more when I'm finished. All right, let me tie it off so I don't have to hold on to it the entire time. And so this is going to be our beautiful focal petal for our flower. And there it is. Take a look. So this is what we normally would call our daisy, but we're going to flip it up and make it a magnolia petal. So that's what we're going to do for our design today. Oh, wow. Teresa said she had 3 strokes where she's getting the use of her left arm back slowly. So you're watching and enjoying others. Awesome. Well, Teresa, if you ever want to join us over in my creative circle, I would absolutely love to have you. I know we have probably over 200 videos, tutorials, and my members, we have a great time. We meet every Sunday at 5:00 p.m. Eastern right here on Facebook. And then they can go back and all the videos from the beginning when we started are available on replay. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to let me know. I'd love to have you. All right, y'all. So that's what we're going to do for our petal. What do y'all think? So we're going to come back to that in just a minute. So let's start by making some leaves. And I got started right before the live because we're going to do the leaves first this time. Normally I do my flowers. So this is that beautiful lime green, and it's a brighter color. I love this one for springtime. So we're going to make one of my favorite petals for leaves, and this is going to be more of a veined leaf petal. So I'm going to just place my mesh on my table, kind of like a diamond shape, and I'm going to cut from corner to corner. Okay, I'm going to pull it back so y'all can see right there. All right, and I'm just using a rotary cutter. I did wood burn the mesh because I did not want to have any frays. Of course, it's not going to totally eliminate fraying, but it helps, okay? And then after I cut it in half, hey, Miss Trina, how are you? I put the 2 ends together just like that, okay? All right, let's do that one more time so you can see how I made the leaves, okay? So same thing, putting it on my table like a diamond, kind of like a baseball diamond, right? All right. Then I'm going to just use my rotary cutter and go from corner, like point to point across. Now we're done with our ruler. I'm going to place those 2 edges together just like so. And now for this next step, we're going to need a little bit of glue. And I do have some short videos on YouTube where I show you how to make these petals. And you can watch them as many times as you'd like. You can pause. All right. So let's fold it in half. just like so, making another triangle as I do. And then all I'm going to do is add glue along my fold. And if you have a clip, I sometimes like to hold it with clips. So I'll grab some clips in just a minute as I go down. What do y'all think about these two colors? Are they going to be beautiful together? Let me grab these clips, y'all, that I had earlier. I started making the leaves, but I did not finish them. So we're going to finish them together now. All right, let's use my little bowl for my trash. Okay. And I like to take my time on this step. This mesh, because of how it's designed, you can feel the glue through those holes. So I'm just being careful. I could use my finger protectors, but I'm not like touching it completely. I'm just kind of lightly squeezing first. Get the excess glue off of my hands there. Okay, thank you, Donzel. All right, and then we're going to let that finish setting up while we make the next one. Okay, so just creasing it. That glue is going to help it hold its crease. All right, let's do that one more time. So take my two pieces that I've cut in half. I'm going to fold it over into another triangle. And then we're going to add our glue. So raise your hand in the comments if you've ever made a wreath before so I can see what kind of audience we have tonight. If you buy wreaths, you can say buyer. And I love this design. I think I first made this, was it 2 years ago? I think maybe 2023. I made it in a beautiful pink. And that just took off. It sold. And I had a special request from my cousin. She actually wanted one in white and also in black. So I made that for her. That white magnolia wreath was actually hers. That was her order. And then since then, I think we've made purple. So now we're going to add a yellow to the collection. Mom has not made a wreath. Mom, we need to change that, don't we? Next time, maybe, Mom, when you come over and we have more time, we could make a wreath together. Wouldn't that be fun? Would y'all like to see A Touch of Faith's mom make a wreath? That would be awesome, Mom, if we did that. What do you think? All right, so while that's finishing up, let's go ahead and grab the other ones that I started before the live. Okay, so once I have all of the glue all set, and then we're going to start putting it together, okay? So now I'm going to open it up, just like so. Hey, Melissa, how are you? And thank you all so much for your get well wishes for Mr. A Touch of Faith. I think it's his allergies that's trying to start to turn into a cold. So I've been taking care of him all day. All right, so now that I have the vein part, I'm going to go ahead and pinch and gather it up, just like I did the leaf a moment ago, or the petal. And this is going to form a beautiful leaf, y'all. And this is probably my favorite. I make lots of different style leaves, but I have to say this is probably my favorite to make. All right, I'm just going to trim this off a little bit. Thank you, Donzel. I'll let him know you said that. He may be watching us. I'm not sure. All right. Let me trim this down. Remember, I told you it doesn't stop all the frays. Although with the leaves, let's see. Yeah, I did wood burn it. I had to think for a minute. I did. However, when you cut it in half, of course, that's going to create a little bit of frays. Y'all, look at that gorgeous leaf. Doesn't that look real? Like very realistic? So that's what we're going to create tonight to go in our flower. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all of our leaves made first. Normally when I make a flower wreath, I add the leaves last. But tonight we're going to make them first and add them first, okay? Yay. I'm so excited too, Teresa. Thank you for making her feel welcome, Donzel. So do y'all like the colors we're using tonight? And wait until I show you the center. We're going to do something a little bit different for the center. If you've been watching me for the past couple of lives, we actually made our own center, but tonight we're going to use something that's already made. I'm going to just grab the rest of these, y'all. So we're going to we need 8 leaves. Okay, so let's get the rest of our leaves done. Okay, so that vein had time to set up nicely. And I thought this was perfect timing because my mom already did her live for today, y'all. So we have a little bit more time if we need it. All right. So see how they're just building up nicely here. One of the things I always recommend when you are not hanging your wreath is if you store it properly, you can hang your wreaths from year to year. And I'll give you an example. Like my mom, for example, she has several wreaths that I made for her, and she hangs hers indoors, and they still look like brand new. Wouldn't you say, Mom? They're like brand new still. And then if it's a wreath that you hang outdoors, when you're not using it, just bring it back in and you can store it in the box that you received it in. You could also store it in like a clear bag, similar to bags that you might get when you go to the dry cleaners. That's what I give my customers when they purchase directly from me when I do in-person events. And if I mail a wreath, then you can store it in the box. Yep. I did tell Mom I wanted to do her angel because she has an angel that's been hanging on her door. I think that angel's been on her door since 2018, y'all. So what is that? 6 years, and this December will be 8 or 7 years. Wow. So yeah, they do look brand new still. She takes very good care of them. But it's easy to do that when they're indoors. Outdoors, you have to compete with the elements like sun. And if you're not careful, that's what I was saying, if you don't have a covering on your door, the sun, over time, it might cause your wreath to fade. So those are things you just have to think about when you're hanging and storing. All right, y'all. Look at there. We have 2 more to make. So let's do the 2 that I just glued with you all live. And I'm going to zoom in so y'all can see a little bit more of what I'm doing, okay? So all I'm doing is taking that glued area that's now become my vein. I opened it up, and then I'm just pinching toward the middle, keeping the edge together as I pinch toward the outside. And I'm just using my zip tie to tie it off. I love these zip ties. I use them for all my flowers that I make. All right. And then look at there, y'all. There is our leaf. Look at there. All right, let's do 1 more, and then we're going to start putting it together. And then we have 1 more leaf. Let's see, one more petal, rather, I should say, that we're going to make. Okay. All right. So let's remove our clips. What do y'all think so far? And don't forget, if you're on Facebook, you can tap the screen to give some love on the video. Make sure you also give us a heart. Let us know you're here. I know sometimes people watch in the background, they don't say anything, but I really prefer that you say something so that I can say hello to you. Oh, wow. Thanks, Teresa. All right. So look at there. All of our leaves are made. Okay. So now let's start putting it together. So right before the live, y'all, I did not have time to do the whole thing. So this is my board that I'm using. It's a Unique in the Creek flower board. And normally for this design, I like to paint the whole board just simply because of how this mesh is going to lay since I'm not using the outside, but I didn't have time for that. So what I did real fast is I just painted the outside. This is not even going to show it all, okay? So let me finish wiring this up. I'm using my zip ties again, and I'm going in these holes. We have what's called paired holes that are close together, and then there are shared holes that share one of the paired holes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this wired up. I literally grabbed paint. And thankfully, Mr. Touch of Faith, he has a, what do you call it? A heat gun. And I just keep it in here. So I use the heat gun to dry it. It didn't take a lot, though, because I didn't put a lot of paint on it. All right, we're almost done. And if we need some more zip ties, I'll grab some more. So I just wanted it to match. And I only do that with certain designs. Like if I'm making the rose wreath, I paint the board just to make sure everything is seamless, because sometimes you can see the board a little bit and I like to make sure it blends in. So yeah, that's my little tip right there. I think my customers appreciate things like that. All right, so let me do these last two. And then we're going to go ahead and get these leaves added first. So who's ready to see this all come together? Thank you so much. All right, so it's not going to matter where I start. And we're just going to go around everywhere that I've already placed my zip ties. And I don't like to keep pulling with my hands. So I'm going to use my little pliers here. And that's just going to keep me from having to use all of my hand strength. And I'm literally just going to go around and around the board with my leaves, just like so. Okay. So where would y'all hang this beauty that we're creating tonight? Would you hang it on your front door, entryway, maybe office? Give me some ideas. All right, Donzel says he's ready to see it. Me too, Donzel. So give me some ideas of where you might hang this design. Curious to hear your thoughts. Okay. And because I've already placed all of my zip ties, I know exactly where I'm going with this. So I don't have to stop and think. Some of the designs that I create are complicated like that. So I mark on my board first, so I know where I'm placing things. This one's not complicated. It's a pretty simple wreath to make. And I will be listing this one on the website. It's actually already there without a picture. So I'll give you that link in a minute if you want to grab this design for yourself. But look at there, y'all, just that fast. I cannot believe it. I went around and added all of those beautiful leaves. So let me go ahead and trim these down. And then I'll hold it up and show you what we have so far. This is one of my favorite parts too. I love trimming these down. It's like that sound is satisfying. Hearing the snip of the zip ties. All right, so let me show you what we have so far. Look at there. What do y'all think? So there is our outside layer. So that's going to show you how big this wreath is going to be, which should be about 22 inches, I think. 23. Yeah, so 23 inches. Okay. All right, before I get too far into this, let me go ahead and make a hanger so I have a way to hold it. So there are several extra holes at the top right here, and I just use those for my hanging holes. So I'm going to make a hanger so that way you have a way to hang it on the door. Oh, thanks, y'all. All right, so what are your ideas? Where could this beauty hang? Any suggestions? I'll add the hanger to it. All right, so now I have my hanger and I can hold it up. So the hanger has been added so that you can easily add it wherever you decide to hang it. So I'll see what y'all say first and then I'll give you some ideas. All right, so let's get our very first Magnolia leaf that we just made. So here we go, y'all. All we're going to do is just add it in. And you'll see why I painted my board in just a minute, okay? So we're going to go around. Oh, I love what Teresa is saying. She says she would place it on the wall opposite her sofa. That way she can look at it often and anyone who visits can see it too. I love that. Teresa, in our old house, we actually had like a door that closed off from the kitchen to the laundry. And so I always kept a wreath on that door. And so in the living room or the family room, there was a couch there, and that door was facing that couch. Like I could sit on that couch and look out and see my wreath on that door. So I absolutely know what you're talking about. I love that. Anyone else have any ideas? That was awesome. And for me, a lot of times, I know we're accustomed to placing wreaths outside, but y'all, guess what? I want to enjoy my own creations too. I want to enjoy something beautiful on the inside of my home. So I absolutely love that. Hanging it inside. That would be perfect. All right, what else? I love that. So y'all remember, I told you originally I was going to make the daisy wreath. So all I'm doing is just flipping up my petals. And sometimes I like to add just a little bit of glue to the tip so my tips stay together. That's just something I do because I like everything to look just really nice. You don't have to do that step though. That's something I like. I'm going to get my little fine scissors right here. There we go. All right. So we're going to keep going all the way around. I might add my little glue first. Just like that. And look, I'm kind of scooping it up. So beautiful. By the time I'm done, you're not even going to see that little bit of paint anymore because it's going to blend right in with our petals. So nice. Just like that. Okay, what do y'all think? I'll pull it back. And let me zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in for a bit so y'all can see it. Look at there. Oh my gosh. Y'all can really see it now. Isn't that nice? So all I'm doing is going around and just adding it in. Just like so. Making sure it looks exactly the way that I want it to look. I usually try to overlap them slightly, just like that. And then I'm just rotating as I go so I can see where I'm headed with it. Oh, thank you. Thanks, y'all. Okay. So it did not take me long to prep this because I actually started prepping a few days ago. And I just did it a little bit here and there. And then today I was like, I gotta finish prepping for our design. If I have any little frays like this, y'all, I'm just trimming them down. I will add a spray at the end, which will help eliminate a little bit more of the fraying. So I'll do that just to kind of seal it off. Just like this. But I've been wanting to do one of these in yellow for a while. And I think this is the perfect time now that spring is here. So Teresa gave us one idea. She said we could hang it inside on a wall. You could also hang it inside on a door, which is the idea I gave you. If you have like an enclosed porch, this would look beautiful out there. And I'm just thinking about the enclosure part that would help it, also last. And then, of course, you can put it on your front door. I think that's the obvious answer. All right, one more, y'all. Let's do one more on this row. And then have y'all ever thought about hanging like a wreath in your entryway? So like the entryway of your home. And I love how Teresa said, give people who visit, like something to look at when they enter. So that would be perfect as well. And you can even hang it in an office or church. I know I have a beautiful rose gold rose on my door in my office at school. And it just makes me feel so happy every day when I look at it. Brings me such great warmth and joy when I look at it. All right, y'all, we finished that second layer. Look at how it's looking. I'm going to zoom you back out. Whoops, there we go. I was trying to grab the camera. All right, let me see. What did I want to trim? I'm going to trim just this little piece right there. Okay, how's that looking? All right, and then let's go around and we're going to trim down again. Just like so, and then I'll hold it up so you can see how it's making up so far. All right, let me find my hanger. Here it is. So this is the top of the wreath. So look there, y'all. Oh my goodness. Look at how it's coming together. What do y'all think? All right, so let's keep going. So we're going to add a few more of the magnolias, and then we're going to switch it up and add a different petal to give it a totally different look. And hopefully it'll look great with my center, because this center is going to be a new center that I'm using. Yay, Mom. And Mom, you wanted something sunflower for your door, didn't you? I think those, you like the wallflower, the daisies, right? Haven't forgotten. All right, so let's do 4 more of those. Thank you, Teresa. I know I'm loving it too. And with that green, and it's kind of making me think about like a pond. Like I feel like there should be a frog somewhere, because this is making me feel like it's out in a pond, like lily pads for some reason. It is so beautiful, isn't it? All right, let's see. I'm just trimming these little spray pieces before I spray it here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do 4 more. And then we're going to add in a different petal. Yes, Mom, it would. And this is the same yellow. So if you were here when we did the what was it called? The wallflower. I'm using that same yellow. All right, so I'm going to flip it up this way. All right, so we're going on the inside now. Just tighten it up just like this. And if I need more, I absolutely already have them made, so we could easily do that. But I'm thinking we should be okay. I'll know in a minute. So y'all, what other colors would look beautiful with this design? We're making a yellow, but what else would y'all like to see? We're going to add 2 more. And then I'm going to need a few more of my zip ties, which I have plenty of them. So I'll grab some out of the drawer. Oh, a red rose. Oh, so Donzel, are you saying you want to see a red rose made? That would be beautiful. And we could do that. All right, y'all. So I added a second layer. Let me zoom you back in while I trim those down. Okay, I'll put that on the list. We can absolutely do that. All right, so let's trim those down. I love making the roses. All right, another red rose, Mom says. Okay. All right, let's take a look at it again. We're not finished. On the hanger. All right, so now we added another layer of the magnolia. So now this time we're going to add a smaller petal. So let me get a few more zip ties to go in that place. I think I'm going to grab some more because I only have 2. Let me do the 2 here. And then we'll grab a few more. Are y'all enjoying this so far? Because I am. All right, let me grab some more. And I'll zoom back in so y'all can check out what we've done. So look at there, y'all. That's what we have so far. All right, let me grab some more of those zip ties. I just buy a big bag of them now. So I just grab a handful of them so we'd have enough. All right, so let's see. I need 2 more. And then we'll get our center added. We'll see how it looks. I think I'm going to add maybe 1 first, and then I'll show y'all the center so I can make sure it's going to work with this particular petal. Okay, so let me get these tightened up. I just went around the same petals that I just added a moment ago. I think I did 2 on the same one, y'all. I can't tell. I did. I went around the same one twice. I was like, I've already done that. Yay, I'm so glad y'all are enjoying this. All right, let me put it right over here. This one. It's hard to see there just a minute where I had already placed it. I was like, wait a minute, I think I've already done one there. Okay. So this next petal, I've already prepared most of them. We're going to make 2 together. And it has a very unique name. All right, there we go. Now it's ready. All right, let me move this over here for just a second. All right, so for our last 2, we're going to create a petal that is called a Star Trek petal. You'll see why in just a minute. Okay, so this one's super easy. I'm just going to start with my triangle again, just like that. Okay, then I'm going to take this side, make it like another triangle, rotate it. And if you need to see this nice and slow, y'all have it on YouTube. And you can also join my creative circle where I teach all things wreaths and everything I've ever shown y'all here on my page. Lots of tutorials are there. Okay. All right. So see how it's now starting to look like the Star Trek? I'll zoom us in again. You might be able to see it if I turn it that way. See how it's kind of looking like the Star Trek little? All right. And then to finish this petal, I'm just going to start easing it together like so. Bringing both ends together. At this point, it starts to look like a hat to me, like the visors that we wear in the summertime. I'm going to push this down. And then I'm going to just lift and lift right there where they all kind of meet. And y'all, that's how we're going to make our last petal. So let's do one more of those. Okay, y'all ready to see one more? We're going to tighten that up. Let me finish by tightening it up. Just like so. I always like to measure it. And then I don't need all of this excess. I'm going to trim off some of this because we don't need all of that. That's why I love my little bowl, y'all. It makes it easy when I'm creating. All right, last one. Let's do that one more time. All right, here we go. Okay, bringing my top tip down to the bottom. Crease it just like that. Then I'm going to bring this right side over. You can go the other way because I'm right-handed. I tend to go from right to left. I'm going to rotate it. Start stretching it out. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to push that middle down, lift, and lift. And then before I tighten it, I like to make sure that it matches the previous one that I did. So I just lay it on top just to verify, and it is. Okay. So now we can trim everything down. We can get this added to our board, y'all. So this is our last round before we do our center. Y'all ready? All right, so let's keep you zoomed in. Glad I'm getting all these little free pieces now before I spray it. It'll be all set. All right, so we're going to just go back around. And we're going to add these all throughout. And it's just going to add a little extra texture to our wreath. This is one of my favorite petals. I love this one. I love all of them, but this is just a really nice one to end with. Hope y'all can see that as I'm adding these in. See how it's giving a little different texture there? Extra dimension to this design. Making sure they're in there good. Everything is fitting so nicely because we prepped it ahead of time. Make sure I'm pushing that all the way in. There we go. And I have actually made an entire wreath with just this one petal before. It was gorgeous. It was in this color too. And I think I made it for fall. So this makes a beautiful wreath all by itself. Okay. Looking for the other two. Let's see. I think I started with the two, didn't I? Let's see where they are. Maybe I didn't make them all, y'all. Unless they're hiding from me. Let me check, because sometimes things will be right here in my face. So I guess I need to make two more because I don't see them. All right, so let's grab two more. I'm making sure they're not down here. Nope. All right, so let me get another piece of that mesh. And it will be funny if they show up later. I thought I had already made 6 of them, but that's okay. I'll find it later if I have it. Y'all be surprised the things I find like after I go off of a line. And I'll be like, I didn't see that. Where was it? Make sure it's not here. Nope. Okay, well, you get to see me do 2 more. How about that? All right, so let's slide that over a little bit. Out of your way some. Y'all don't mind, do you? We'll get to do this again. 2 more. And it goes pretty quick. This is something you can do, like for me, sometimes I'll prep ahead of time and then put the wreath together. Or if this is all I'm doing for that day, I can go ahead and make it all at the same time. And a lot of times I'll turn the TV on. It keeps me company while I'm working. So yeah, it makes the time go by. Just like that. Okay, let's trim it down. All right, and we're going to make one more. You'll have things like that you do that help you get things done. I know earlier I asked people what they were doing today on my Facebook page. And one of my followers, she said, laundry. No, she said cleaning, yuck. So I was thinking about how I was doing laundry. And so turning the TV on is one way to help make that kind of fun and, just go by fast. So just anything that helps, right? All right. So this is our last one. We're going to get it added to the board. And then, you'll get to see the beautiful center that I haven't shown y'all yet on purpose. So I think we're good. All right, here we go. So I'm going to dump my trash now. Now that we're pretty much finished with it. All right, let's bring our board back. And now we're going to add our last 2 in. Okay, so right here. just like so. Okay. And then here's our last one, just like so. Let's spread that back out. All right, let's trim them down. What do you think? And I'm getting ready to hold it up for y'all to see. Okay. So here's the top. Look at there, y'all. What do you think? Oh my goodness. So we've definitely given it lots of different layers, lots of textures, lots of dimension there. But it needs a center. So let me show you what I've selected for the center. And I've had this on my shelf for a while, y'all. Look at this beautiful yellow peony. I thought this would be absolutely gorgeous. We're going to add that right here on our flower. So what do y'all think about that? So let me go ahead and trim this down first. I think I saw my wire cutters back here. I'll get these because this is a little thicker. Thank you, Mom. All right. So we won't be using these leaves. So I'll save that for another project. I'm just going to trim this all the way down. Normally I would place this in like a centerpiece. And y'all, that's another thought too. You could use this as a centerpiece. Like it could be in the center somewhere to help you decorate your table even, right? Like if you had a really big table, this could be that showpiece. All right, so I'm just going to save these leaves for later. So centerpiece, wall accent, all sorts of ideas, right? Okay, so I already took the liberty before the live and I just added some wire so I could easily attach this. So we're going to go right down in the middle here. And we're going to get this added in. And there are 2 holes right there in the middle for this. So I think I'm just going to use those 2. We can always go out a little wider if needed, but I'm going to start with these first. Just like so. Make sure the flower is all straight and neat. And this is going to really give it a different kind of look in the middle. I'm going to turn it over carefully so that I can tie it off on the back. Just like so. Just giving it a couple of twists. Finish wiring it up. And then I'm going to trim that excess. We don't need all of that. All right, are y'all ready to see it? All right, y'all. Look at it first. Make sure it looks the way I want it to look. All right, here we go. Look at there. So here is our finished Magnolia Wreath. So what do y'all think? Look at there. I'll come closer so you can see it. So how did we do? And you really can't even see the parts of the board anymore, but I often do that just so that if it's turned to the side, where my leaves are. If you see any of that board right there, like in that area, it's going to be yellow. So that's my little tip, something that I like to do for my customers. So yay, y'all, we did it. Look at there. All right, let me grab the link. I forgot to do that. So if anyone wants to grab this wreath, I have it listed online. You'll see pictures of the yellow coming soon because I've got to take it after the live. I think the pink one is still there. The purple one is sold out. I can't remember if I relisted it or not, but you'll click and you can choose which color you would like. And yeah, we'll have to get some more of these flowers added. We had a request from Donzel. My mom also said red rose, so we'll be adding that to our list. But yay, and let me grab the bow that we made the other day. Remember this? Wouldn't this look beautiful? Remember we had that beautiful sunflower bow that we made on a live? That would look gorgeous, right? So I'm just showing you some other things that you could grab to complement your design. Okay. And then don't forget, we also had the mini little wallflower daisy. Remember that? And this is the one I was telling you where we made our own center. So we made that. So lots of beautiful things are available in our shop for you all to have for springtime. So if you're interested in any of these, you can certainly check out those videos. But I thought I would bring those back because they all go along with our series that we've been doing with our sunflower yellow color. Okay, that yellow, that bright, bright yellow. So beautiful magnolia wreath will be added with a picture. If you want to grab it before I take the picture, you can go ahead and click that link and check out right now on the website. And then all of the other gorgeous designs are also available. All right. Thank you, Donzel. Donzel says he loves them all. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. I had fun hanging out with you. What questions do you have before we head out for tonight? We go live every Tuesday and Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I look forward to seeing you all back on my page. We've gotten a lot of new people on all of our platforms. So I look forward to seeing who will join us on Tuesday. And we're going to have another beautiful design. So you'll have to come back Tuesday. All right. What else, y'all? You have to stay tuned. We're going to have lots of exciting things coming. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything before we head out for tonight. And I do appreciate you for being here. And I'm going to hop off of here. Hopefully our dinner, I threw some chicken in the oven before the live, set the cook timer so the oven would turn off automatically. So we'll be able to go have dinner and just relax a little bit for the rest of the night. Because I've been working all day. I've been taking care of my hubby and just trying to get things done with some orders. My mom's live was earlier today because she has to speak out of town tomorrow. And so we moved her live up to 2 o'clock, which normally is 2 o'clock anyway on this day. So yeah, today's been busy. It's been busy. Thank you, Mom. Yes, Donzel, I love it. Donzel has a new job. So on every Tuesday, we check our subscribers for the year for YouTube. And we can't wait, right, Donzel? It's going to be awesome. And I'm super excited. We're working towards 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to help us, let me add that right now. If you're on Facebook, I made it easy for you. All you have to do is type in the comments right now while you're on this video, !YouTube all together. And if you're on YouTube, just go to the video, click on that subscribe button, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you always know when we are live. That way you don't have to even think about it. It will send you an alert 30 minutes before we go live. So make sure you do that. I cannot wait. I look forward to seeing those numbers on Tuesday. So I'm excited. I know, right? That is awesome. Mom said, go ahead, Donzel. Melissa, you're going to come over for dinner. Okay, let me know in advance so I can make enough. Okay. I tell you, I don't do a lot of cooking, but I try to keep it simple in the weekdays. Today I did make breakfast though, because I wanted him to have like a good hearty breakfast. Because I thought about when I've been sick, my mom always would make grits and eggs. And this is even as an adult, like after I had to have surgery and she was taking care of me. Mom, you remember that? You made grits and eggs, and that just made me feel so much better. So that's what I asked him today. I was like, you want some grits and eggs? And so not only did I do grits and eggs, but I whipped up some homemade pancakes. So he had some pancakes. And then I love eating vegetables for breakfast. So I sliced up some avocado at the last minute. And it was a pretty good breakfast. It was good for me too. So yeah, we both had a good breakfast. But usually on the weekends, because we're so busy, it's like maybe cereal, like something really quick and light. I hadn't cooked breakfast in a while, so I enjoyed it. It was fun. All right, what am I forgetting? Thanks, Melissa, for that. All right, y'all have been a blast. Thank you so much. Stay tuned because I'm going to share with you another beautiful design on Tuesday. So if you want to see it and be the first one to see it, you have to come back on Tuesday, okay? All right, I think that's it. I don't see anything else. So don't forget to go out and look for something good, because when you do, remember you have found God. And remember this, that God's got me, God's got you, and we've got this. Have an amazing night, everyone. Continue to stay safe, and I'll see you back live on Tuesday. Good night, everyone.